The business card, a piece of sturdy paper that so many businesses rely on to spread the word about their businesses. Or is it simply just a piece of trash? Because so many of these cards meet their fate in the dusty dustpan. Hi, I am Dani. I am an artist, a mom of two, and the founder of Stop Up Shop, a Toronto, Canadian shop for Caribbean-inspired stationery, accessories, apparel that are whimsy and well seasoned because we don't skip the spice around here. Now, I've been thinking about my own business cards and what they actually do, right? Because there's a segment of the population who very much still holds on to these tiny pieces of paper to learn about a business. They are, after all, a fun marketing tool that act as an extension. And in this day and age, you can add something like a QR code because people want easy, and QR codes do exactly that. So, what's the verdict? Are we keeping these cards or are we dashing them? And if you still use them for your business, are you directing the QR code to your website directly or to social media? Let's talk.
Okay, so I am in the midst of redesigning my business cards. Okay, and I do appreciate about them is the vibrancy. I think the green and the yellow, which maybe it's not obvious to everybody, but for me it's quite obvious that it's an ode to the Jamaican flag, our roots. I usually include the pronunciation because people don't get it right, which can be a gift or a curse. While it might not be recommended, I feel like it becomes an entryway to have a conversation about the shop. But what I don't like is the QR code links to our website. And I think I would prefer it if it linked to our social media, because at least that way people can follow, and thereby allow us to grow our social media following. Also, how often do you go to a website and then bookmark it or save it? Maybe it's really commonplace, but I feel like you might visit the website one time and then click out of it and then forget. The other thing is the amount of text that is on these cards. So at first I had just a little bit and then it became too lengthy. I think this is too much. I think I need to be able to edit and really say in a concise way who Stop Up Shop is. What is it that we do? So that's something that I was thinking of also. And I think finally, in just thinking about what are ways to sort of innovate I almost said greeting card, the business card. How can we do something new with this? And I'm saying without having to change the sizing of it, without having to add some shiny foil or some magic jack in the box jumps out of this thing. I mean, without all the bells and whistles, what are simple ways, design elements that could change the way this card is received? And I think part of it could be, for example, a card that doubles as a bookmark or that has a functionality to it. Then people are more inclined to want to keep that card. But barring that, just how can we get more innovative with business cards? And I get it, not everybody still wants business cards. People use the QR codes, but there's still a group of people who like to have something physical. And so I still want to make sure I've designed with them in mind.
Okay. I needed an easy way to shoot when I don't feel like, getting all dressed up, putting makeup on, right? On Love Island, they wake up, they put their sunglasses on, they drink their water, right? I'm gonna put my sunglasses on. I'm gonna drink my water too. My new water bottle. What is this brand called? Chakalab, which I absolutely love. I was sold by, I think, TikTok or something, and I have such a hard time drinking my water, incorporating my water during the day. So I figured I would get something that was just very cute, very fun. It's just a beautiful object to look at. So this is motivating me to drink my water. This is like a ramble. It's a little bit of a ramble. Let me moisturize my hands while I talk, but I just feel like frustrated. And the frustration is not related to my specific brand, actually. There is this brand, this Black-owned brand called Hanifa that does these, they make these really beautiful dresses, okay? They've been around for somewhere between 7 to 10 years, okay? And there was a lot of commotion online surrounding the fact that last Black Friday, they did a pre-order, they did a sale, and all the items were pre-order. So you were making the purchase with the intention of receiving your items at a later time. I have only done pre-order once before. You can peep the video up here or wherever it pops up on the screen. And I understand that model. The idea for that model is you do not have the funding beforehand, the capital beforehand, to be able to afford the investment, and thus the pre-order guarantees that you'll have X amount of funds to produce the items, and then you'll be able to sell, etc., and ship it to your people at a later date. Cool. And then the drama was because people received their items late. People went to social media to talk about their experience about that, you know, how they were waiting. There was not much communication. And she did take, the owner, Hanifa, did take a lot of accountability. She did own up, and she was very transparent about what some of the issues were that arose as a result of, like, you know, her manufacturing, etc. So it was like a lot of issues, and she tried to take full ownership of it. And still, I think as a founder, especially as a founder, when you're sort of putting yourself out there, or maybe specifically as a POC founder, just the scrutiny that you receive, I think it was really hard to navigate for her. And so she yesterday announced that she was going to put the brand on pause. And she did make mention of everything that had transpired with the Black Friday event. She made mention also recently giving birth, so having a new child, being in the throes of postpartum. Again, things that we really do need to be able to navigate and talk about as women founders. You know, those can be our reality. And I applaud her being able to take the time and the space. Clearly, sometimes that's what needs to be done in order to regroup, to refocus, and to reassess whether what we're building truly aligns with our vision. But it also points to the big problem of, like, not having enough capital. Even though you have this idea, you have this great idea, you have your proof of concept, people are purchasing your items, people are excited to purchase your items, people are willing to pre-order, knowing that the items that they're going to receive are going to be beautiful. So there's that proof of concept that's already there, and yet there's not enough support backing or providing the capital so that she is able to fulfill these orders, so that she doesn't have to resort to pre-order. I don't know. I feel like I felt the same way when Colé, it's another Black-owned brand that does makeup, sort of had to close their doors as well. Those feel, and Colé was VC backed, right? And there's a conversation that she has on the Emma Grede podcast or something, where she talks about, yes, while she was backed, you know, not all investors are created evenly, and not all money necessarily aligns with the visions that you may have for your respective brand. So sort of having to navigate that, especially when there's other monies that are involved, it can be tumultuous. But it sort of took a little bit of the wind out of my sail a little bit to see these women who I think are so aspirational and who are doing so much, and who will continue, make no mistake, will continue to do so much and continue to bring in our communities in creative ways. But it just sort of felt like, dang, like, I really wish that there was more support for our ideas. I really wish I don't know. I just really wish that it wasn't such an uphill battle. I really wish, I think what's beautiful about Hanifa is that she has boundaries. She's clearly expressing to us what her boundaries are. And that that sort of situation was not okay. And so now she wants to redefine what those boundaries are for herself. And so how could you not respect that? That's so, that takes a lot of strength. That takes a lot of bravery, especially if you are running a, multi-million dollar business. Like, it takes a lot to be able to step away. It also motivates me. It also motivates me to do more with my business. It motivates me to keep going, to keep pushing. It motivates me tremendously to see these women that keep pushing. And I feel like we will continue to keep pushing and continue to define or redefine what is possible and what it could look like. Because even this idea of like, the entrepreneur who grinds and doesn't get any sleep. Guys, I'm a mom of 2. And as a mom of 2, I need my sleep. And while the first couple of years, I was totally fine with that idea of not getting any sleep. I'm about to be 40. I don't want that for myself. I don't want to sacrifice my sleep. I don't want to sacrifice being able to spend time with the people that matter. I'm building all of this for them and for us. And so I understand and I recognize that there are sacrifices that need to be made, but it's sort of at what cost? And then again, it's this conversation about what is valued, right? How when you don't have a lot of money, you're willing to give away your time so that in exchange for the money, right? And whereas the wealthier, they have access to all the money, so they recognize that time is the real currency, and thus they don't want to just give any and anyone their time. They're very precious about their time. And so as I am building, I'm keeping that in mind, and I still want to also be precious about my time. So how can I build smart? How can I build smart and not necessarily hard? And that doesn't mean that I'm opposed to working hard. I work hard all the time. I think that just means that I want to work hard in the right ways that will yield the right results. I don't know, just a word on like boundaries and at what cost, right? We're also at this point where, again, as we get older, our health is so important. We should value our health. And so it's so important for us to center and remember what it is that we're trying to prioritize, and for that to also be part of the foundation of these businesses that we are creating. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rumbling. I feel like these are ideas that are like half-baked, not fully baked, but it just... I feel like when I heard the news, even though I have never purchased anything from Hanifa, I just have seen people wear the clothing and thought a lot of the dresses were really beautiful. I just... maybe it's the empath in me. Potentially it's the empath in me. I just felt it. I just felt like, oh, that sucks. That sucks. I don't know. Listen, this morning was a slow morning for me. What did I do? Oh, I went running in the cold. I told y'all about my little marathon. I have a second marathon coming up. I am not prepared at all. I'm so ill prepared. Blah. I am so ill prepared because I only started running last week. So this morning It's still cold outside. I'm gonna show y'all outside. I did it, but it just sort of slowed everything down, and that is, again, fine. That's okay. There's a part of me that would have tried to like beat myself up over it a little bit, but no, I think it's just being okay with the run should be on the to-do list. Your health should be on the to-do list. And you should be very proud when you're able to take that off. So, all right, guys. I was going to talk about references, and one of the books that I got for Christmas was this beautiful book called Dance Hall, The Rise of Jamaican Dance Hall Culture. And so, number one, I love like beautiful coffee books. But then also just understanding a little bit more about this history. I feel like there's certain things that I've done that are sort of obviously a nod to my Caribbean culture. And so just, I guess I'm nerdy. I like to learn about different things, but even something like this, like you see the text and the font that's over here, I want to find different ways to sort of understand, have more of an understanding of like how certain things originated and came to be, and then how I can infuse Soft Up Shop with those references as well. So to be able to completely understand the references is to read about it and learn about it. And there's also a coffee table book about signage that I really, really want to invest in as well. But yeah, I like the idea of sort of like nodding. In many ways, it's a nod, you know, like when you're walking down the street, you're a Black person and you're walking down the street and you see another Black person or another elder, especially, you know, there's a nod that takes place. And I feel like with Soft Up Shop, I want that nod to happen visually, if that makes any sense. So I was trying to just play around with it. And I think that's part of the process. Part of the process is like messing up. Don't be afraid to mess things up and for things to be ugly. Because right now we are in the ugly stage of the design. It's sort of like, am I being too bold? Do I have such a vivid imagination that I think that you can do the impossible with nothing? I don't know. I am feeling way too ambitious in this, and maybe if it ain't broke, maybe my minimalist ways, maybe there was nothing wrong with my minimalist ways, but it feels like the minimalist and the inner maximalist within me are at odds, and I am trying to appease them both. I don't know. What is absolutely wild is that just yesterday I was recording a video saying,
in the end, what did I decide? I was a little bit embarrassed to announce this, but in the end, what I decided was just to stick with the original card, the green background, and just slightly modify the other side so that the text could be a little bit more succinct. And while in some ways it feels a little bit like a failure,
I literally threw in the towel. I recorded the video, but then I went to Canva and I decided to go back to the drawing board one last time. And so remember I talked to you about the idea of the mesh, that mesh marina that is so pervasive and popular in Caribbean culture. And so I decided to play around with that material by layering different meshes in different colors. So again, the green and the yellow, bring in some red, bring in some black as well. And it created this pattern that I actually thought was really interesting. And boom, that was the cover of my new business card. And then for the back, it wasn't broke, so I need to fix too much of it. I just reused the old card, but I tweaked the copy on it so that it's more succinct it really gets to the point, enough negative space around that it's easy to read. Boom. Done. And that is your reminder to never give up. Bye, guys. Don't forget. I almost forgot to say, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and follow. And are you guys using business cards too? Is it just me? I love y'all for real. Bye.